Smitty G here, doing another little video lesson. One of the things that's going to change up is I've been doing these things over and over and over as I make mistakes, and I'm getting really tired of it. I don't have much in the way of fancy editing software, wouldn't know what to do with it if I had it. I'm not a professional videographer, so I'm just going to leave the mistakes in. I make blunders. You're going to have to live with them just like I do. I've done some discussions on ukuleles and bass techniques and stuff. I wanted to do something different with this one in that I haven't done anything with the guitar, and I haven't done anything really practical. It's been overviews and discussions and little introductions, but I wanted to do a lesson where this is something you can actually use while playing. And it's something I brought over from the bass world. I started learning acoustic guitar when I was about 8 years old. My stepdad was a musician, and I became fascinated with it, so I learned a couple of chords and just started noodling from there. But I really didn't get serious about studying music and actually playing until I got on the bass in my teens. So some of the technique that I developed more properly, I guess I should say, came on the bass side, and then I back channeled it to when I would switch back over to guitar. For example, most people do a vibrato on a guitar with that down-up motion. I don't. I do a classical, like cello type of vibrato, side to side, because that's what you tend to do on a bass guitar. The other thing was muting techniques. In the bass world, this is massively important. You can't have those thick, deep strings just ringing out all over the place. It'll trash all over a song. So you develop these techniques of lifting up off your finger pressure and then clamping down with the strumming hand or picking hand to kill the strings off. And so I developed these muting techniques and then brought them back over to the guitar. And it's these muting techniques I want to talk about here. One of the things I get asked about a lot is the way I sort of, to make up a term, bluegrassify some of these 80s classic rock hits. And so I'm going to do an example here of this and take you through the basic concept. So the song I'm working on, and I'm just going to do a snippet so I can demonstrate the techniques more than the song itself, is the chorus to Scorpions' No One Like You. I was about to say Rock You Like a Hurricane. That was another song. So what we basically have here is an A power chord, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time discussing chord shapes. If you know them, you know them. If you don't, then you probably need to be working on that instead of this muting technique anyway. So we get an A power chord, then an F power chord, G, back to A, do that again, and then we go back to F, G, revert back to F, and end on an E power chord. So what you're going to see me do here is I'm just doing simple downstrokes, and then I do this, what I call a chop. It's sort of like I'm doing a karate chop on the strings. That fleshy part of my hand is laying down on the strings to cut the sound off. You'll also see me flex these fingers over here. I am not lifting them off the strings. I'm just removing pressure so that instead of this, you get, my fingers are still touching the strings, but I'm not pushing down to the fretboard. So you're going to see me mute from both sides because, again, that's what we do in the bass world. All right. So what I'm going to do here is convert this over to regular guitar chords instead of power chords. And this is part of that bluegrass styling that you're going to see me move into here a little bit. So the A chord, power chord, becomes an A minor. All the rest are major chords. So I got A minor, and again I do that down up chop, and then F, G, back to A minor. Reverb back to F, E major to end that up. All right. So I'm going to do this again in time without the talking. Now, what I'm going to do is start spicing this up. And what I'm going to do that is I'm going to basically chop on the downbeat and keep my up strums. And this is something I throw a lot of people off when they listen to some of my strumming techniques. I listened to a lot of funk and Motown and soul and R&B grooves when I was growing up. So I am very used to accentuating upbeats. And that's something a lot of guys who stuck with rock and country don't do as much. So, see, I'm chopping on the downbeat, strumming the upbeat. Now all I got to do is add in some double strumming, basically a lot of back and forth motion in between some of that, and you get what I call sort of a bluegrassy style of playing these things. Whoops. So again, this is a quick rundown of the technique. Start slow, start simple. Just do, the basic down up chop. For the guys coming from the southern rock world, a great song to practice this with is, Sweet Home Alabama. You got that D, C, G, G. That's a great song to start off with. And then, so you got down, up, chop, down, up, chop. Once you can get that motion down, then you can start working on that up strum technique where we're going down, up, chop, up. So I'm strumming up, chopping on the downbeat, and that accentuates those up strokes. And then, like I said, after that, you just add in some down, up strumming in between. Take it slow, start simple. This takes time. I didn't do this like, the first time I picked up a guitar or, started messing around with this. This developed over years. So this isn't something you're going to master in 5 seconds. It's going to take a little bit of time and work because it's all about rhythm and timing. What I'm doing down here isn't anything fancy. These are pretty straightforward chords. But if you bring this into your playing style, you're going to find you get a lot more interesting rhythms and variety than I see a lot of people out there playing guitars. It's all basic down-up strums, all open strings. There's no real variety in it. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's okay. Not really my cup of tea for the most part. I prefer things a little bit more funky. But, you know, if you're doing something more folky, that's probably appropriate. But again, if it's the only tool in your, you know, toolbox, then, you know, that's when you're getting real limited in your playing. Start working on the picking hand, muting techniques, and all of a sudden, those few chords you already know how to play can do a whole bunch of different cool things. Have fun with that. Hope everybody's well out there. Be safe. Still in lockdown from this coronavirus stuff. I hope to keep some of these coming and maybe do a topic or two that you find interesting. If there's something you're particularly wanting me to cover, leave a comment and I'll see if I can get around to it. Have a good day, everybody.